third day of softness in equity markets and a third day of strength in oil markets, Carol Massar.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. No softness when it comes to those energy names. It's the best performing major industry group in the S&P 500. So I'm looking at energy as a whole, up about 1.5% here. And of course, it has to do with those Middle Eastern tensions and specifically concern about do the oil markets, how might they be impacted in the future because of it?
I'm already thinking about tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., change in non-farm payrolls for the month of September, 150,000. Jobs added is what the survey of economists by Bloomberg is anticipating, but we got quite the range when it comes to how investors are thinking about it, Scarlett. 70,000 up to 220,000. So
sounds like nobody knows. Nobody knows anything.
Again, nobody knows.
And you wonder whether that's actually going to be the catalyst that jolts things and changes things up, right? I'm looking at volume, and it's about 18% below the 20-day average. It feels like a really meh day overall. No technical levels that are of any kind of significance. The RSI, we're not anywhere near anything that suggests that we're at an inflection point. So just searching for a catalyst.
Yeah, searching for a catalyst. And of course, that may potentially come at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow when we get that monthly jobs numbers, or maybe not. It's a big sort of question mark right now, as everyone really is trying to game the direction of the Fed, and at least for right now, the direction of what's going on in the Middle East and the response to it. Let's walk you through the numbers here in the U.S. as we get the closing bells in New York. Right across the screen, a little bit of a shift from what we saw yesterday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by roughly 185 points, or 0.4%. The S&P 500 looks like it's going to settle just below 5,700. That's down about 10 points, or 0.2%. We're going to call the NASDAQ Composite unchanged on the day, right around 17,918. Similar story for the NASDAQ 100. But you did see more meaningful moves lower in that cyclical and small cap space. The Russell 2000 down 0.7% on the day, and Dow Transports down 1.4%, as all but three of those members finished the day in the red.
All right, so some pressure certainly from those groups. Looking at the S&P 500 overall, guys, most names lower today, almost 400, 387, losing some ground today. Scarlett, you had 114 to the upside, and you had 2 unchanged.
All right, looking at the sectors, you've got 11 sectors in the S&P 500, only 3 in the green. Energy, the best performers, Carol, as you mentioned, not just for today, up 1.5%, but for the month as well, up almost 5%. Technology doing well, with NVIDIA helping lift some of the chip makers, and communication services just squeaking into the green. Consumer discretionary, materials, and REITs losing ground today.
All right, guys, let's get to some of the individual gainers. An easy one for me, NVIDIA, up about 3.33%.
Took the easy way out, I see.
Occasionally you have to do that. Top gainer in the NASDAQ 100. You guys know the story. Positive comments out of Jensen Huang, the CEO of the company. He talked about the Blackwell chips. This was on CNBC. He said Blackwell is in full production and demand for Blackwell is insane. I know we've all...
Insane.
That's what he said.
Insane in the membrane.
Those were his words.
Okay.
Words that could come back to haunt you,
How do you quantify insane?
Oh, it will come back to haunt him. I guarantee you
Right?
somebody's already clipped that and is just waiting for that one day.
Right, exactly. Like, remember when you said the comments come, though, amid some concern specifically about the engineering snags that the company has had because of a delay that we received in that Blackwell chip. All right, let's get to Constellation Energy. We've been talking about this one now for a couple of weeks. It was a top gainer in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, up about 4.5% in today's session. Been on fire since news of reopening that one Pennsylvania facility to power Microsoft data centers. Well, RBC Capital raising its price target to $272 from $214. The stock's above that already, closing above $277 a share. RBC keeping its sector perform rating on the shares. So, yeah, that's coming out. I should also point out.
I should point out, too. I hope Tim does Constellation Brands. That's what the client.
I almost queued him up for that.
I gave it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Spoiler alert.
I just want to say, Wall Street Journal is also out that the owner of the shuttered 3 Mile Constellation is pursuing a $1.6 billion federal loan guarantee to help finance its plan to restart that Pennsylvania facility. So a bit of news. EVgo, I don't know if you saw this one.
Yeah, we did.
Huge move.
Up more than 60% in today's session.
I'm all for this.
What?
I'm all for this.
Why?
I mean, you need charging infrastructure, right? I mean, that's been a big impediment to, I think, EV adoption. It just can't, all just be these Tesla chargers. And, if you're going to have a broad array of companies, I don't know if this company's capable of fulfilling that, but great story. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. But they got a conditional loan guarantee of up to $1 billion from the Department of Energy to expand its network. So maybe they're listening to you, Romaine. JP Morgan also upgraded the firm.
They're big fans of the show.
Saying that it expects it will outperform some of its peers. All right, so Tim, we queued you up.
You did, but I'm starting with Tesla because the shares are down for a third day in a row. Down more than 8% over the last 3 days, falling today by 3.4%. Lots of Tesla news today. The company notified U.S. auto officials of a fifth recall involving the Cybertruck in less than a year since this pickup has been out. Tesla employees also were told that the chief information officer is leaving the company just days before it's set to unveil robotaxi prototypes. Company pre-marketing $783 million debt sale backed by prime borrowers' car leases. And then Reuters reported after the bell yesterday that Tesla has discontinued at least the least expensive version of the Model 3 in the U.S. Tesla shares falling again today, third day in a row, down by 3.4%. Here it is. STZ is the ticker. You had Constellation Energy, Carol. I'm going with Constellation Brands.
Finally.
We're not drinking enough beer. Lower because it turns out that we got to drink more beer. Shares of Constellation Brands, it's the parent company of Corona and Modelo, reported weaker than expected beer depletions for the fiscal second quarter. Analysts did note.
What does that mean?
Less beer is depleted than they wanted it to be. It's just another fancy way of saying how much beer we're drinking.
Beer depletions.
Yeah.
That's an industry term.
Analysts said that scanner data have signaled improving trends in recent weeks, though, so go drink that beer, Scarlett.
Gladly.
Levi's finished the day down by 7.7%. It was down nearly 12% earlier in the session. Challenges abroad, declines across its home market, and Dockers brand drove to a cut to its full-year guidance. The company does see weaker sales growth for the current fiscal year. Dockers options could be a sale. They've hired Bank of America as a financial advisor. Dockers brands declined 15% in the last period.
Romaine, there's some Dockers on sale right now.
I mean,
maybe Marius Gilbert said maybe they'd sell to a company like Authentic Brands Group, which pretty much owns everything out there.
I know, but I mean, that seems like such a bland brand. I mean, I don't know, anybody can make khakis. So maybe that's why they're doing, I don't know, maybe, can they get Beyonce to wear some Dockers? Maybe that would help things. Let's take a look at what's going on in the yield space. The second straight day where we've seen yields move higher, particularly on the shorter end of the curve. And of course, a lot of that has to do with what's been going on with the dollar and what's been going on overseas. About 7 basis points higher on your 2 and your 10-year yield, 6 basis points higher on the 20 and 30-year yield. Carol, they told me that we were going to chat about something really, really serious here. I'm sure it's either about markets, about the economy, about the election, what?
From the man who brought us the bears fighting, you're going to tell me about Sirius. Okay.
I'm still bitter that you did not like the fat bear chat.
The bear chat. No,
Can we do that right now?
This is payback right now for that.
Well, Tim was talking about beer depletions. How about skin depletions? There's this incredible story that just popped up from the Wall Street Journal. It has to do with Cheetos and a particular yellow dye, number 5. And apparently, it's a popular food dye in Cheetos. I mean, you know that color so well.
It's made with real cheese.
And apparently,
I never knew that.
This food dye can turn the skin of live mice transparent and show the organs inside.
What?
And scientists have done this experiment.
Yeah,
so they just eat this stuff and they turn transparent?
No.
No?
You actually put a solution on the bellies of live mice. Have you ever done science experiments?
I've never rubbed Cheeto dust on the belly of a live mouse. I can assure you of that.
Hopefully you've never rubbed anything on the belly of a live mouse.
Come on.
It revealed the inner organs and pulsed muscles in the gut. After soaking the mice's heads in the solution, according to the Wall Street Journal, they saw blood vessels that sluice the brain. Applied to hind limbs, the dye showed muscles in the legs.
Okay, I
don't know. Sounds like superhero powder to me.
Wait, all right. Science research can be crazy, but think about if you didn't have to have X-rays or things that you could, in the future, maybe put this on.
Cheetos dust?
Rub this on the Romaine belly, and then you could see the organs inside.
Please don't rub my belly. I don't like that.
Well, we can just experiment, right? You get a bag of Cheetos and you just rub the dust on your fingertips.
I try to get Tim to kind of help me out in the dressing room.
Maybe they'll be see-through.
All right, Scarlett, what do you got?
All right, here's another story that we're watching. You know how a lot of public schools around the country are banning cell phones? phones because it's been such a distraction to learning. That was proposed in New York City. They were going to move forward with it, but there was an incident in one of the public schools last week in which they went into lockdown because there was talk or there was reports of some kind of active shooter. That didn't turn out to be the case, but parents couldn't reach their kids, so parents are pushing back and saying, no, do not ban cell phones. This is something that gets everyone up in arms because teachers can't teach when everyone's distracted and checking Instagram.
Tim's really heated about this.
I am. As a parent of young children, you try to keep them away from technology.
Yep.
Personally, I think it's a good thing to have technology like this out of the classroom. So much research has shown that the students concentrate so much better without these things.
Yeah.
I don't know, Romaine, what do you think? Did you get your new iPhone, Romaine?
I did. I spent all last night setting it up for him. But the great thing about it is I know exactly where he's at all the time. So thank you, technology. It's not like the old days, Tim. I used to leave the house for hours. My mother had no idea where I was.
I know, right?
Somehow I survived.
You left in the morning and you came back for dinner.
I know.
And we all survived, and here we are.
Well, sort of.
All right, I'm going back to
little
Cheetos.
damaged.
All right, yeah, it's debatable. All right, that's a wrap. Our cross-platform radio, TV, YouTube, Bloomberg Originals. We call it the closing bell, guys. We will see you for the Friday edition tomorrow.